but obviously that information goes to everyone, so it's just as likely even to up the white and Asian voter test takers as much as the Black and Latinos to some degree. The numbers that tend to jump out at me are, while 70% of our students in the schools are Black and Latino, 40-something% are actually taking the standardized high school admission exam. And I have to think part of that is the fact that there is not the same, there's more of a stigma attached in some neighborhoods where taking that test may not be something you want to announce that you want to take, or there are students who are not taking that test who should be, which is why you're trying to advertise it. Has there been any thought to mandating that these students take the test? We got a yes out.
However, I do want to caution that we're not going to have calling out from the audience today, or I will ask to have people that do remove from the room.
So we are actually looking, for the future, we are looking at both the access, the programs that both DREAM and Discovery. We're looking at the exam itself, and we are looking at measures. So the administration is taking a really deep assessment on what we want to do, and I do think that is one of the options that we are looking at when it comes to access.
Because, currently, for instance, the PSAT is given to every student, I believe. I think you maybe opt out or something, but every student takes the PSAT, and they do it during school hours in their own school. That would seem to me a lot better way to go about trying to do even this test, having people the option of opting out, or at least giving it mandatory to everyone who scores a certain amount, or everybody, but within their own school. Would that be something we can look at? Because that seems to me would up the numbers, obviously, of test takers for sure, and we'd get equal amount of test takers compared to the percentage of Black and Latino students.
We'll definitely look into that, and that's definitely an option.
I mean, that seems like a logical thing to attempt before we make major changes to the test. Or to the admissions policy. That's what sticks with me here is that, these schools have been around a long time. 70 years we've been doing this test and this one test. And I agree there are issues here, and obviously diversity is a problem. The problem is, every year Newsweek comes out with their best, schools in the country. And I'm always very proud that a lot of New York schools make that list, it's particularly these specialized high schools. So it seems to me a little crazy to tinker with that without first trying other options. So mandating the test to me sounds like one good option. Another problem, and this is definitely a problem, is test prep in my neighborhood in Eastern Queens is everywhere. There are test prep places all over. Some kids start in 3rd grade and they start doing test prep. And it's an unfair advantage for those who do that. And I realize that in some neighborhoods where they don't have the means or other ways of going about doing this, they are not test prepping as much as they should. Ironically, I'm the one who's always been against test prep. I want to be clear. I've never been against the idea of test prepping when it helps that student. I always hated the fact that it was test prepping to help the teachers, principals, chancellors, and mayors. That's what always bothered me. So my thing, there's got to be ways to mandate students before the standardized high school exam comes out to not only mandate they take it, but we're going to let you know how to take it and prep you for it. And there are ways to do it, whether it's in school or online. I'll give them a shout out. The Khan Academy is one you see a lot about lately, where it's an online course you can take and the kids can learn how to take those tests. So I know that I got beeped here, so I'm gonna end. But to me, it just sounds like quite the risk to mess with something that's worked so well for the years without first trying to up that diversity numbers in what I think are more logical ways. Because I get the feeling we're attacking the symptoms and not the cause, which is less kids are taking the test, and they're not prepped properly for the test. So if we should try that first before we go about changing the standard, in my opinion. And the last thing,
thank you, council member. I'm gonna have to limit you here.
Queens High School for Teaching is in my district, and we love it. It just happens to be a little bit of an anomaly the way it's laid out in that it feeds from 2 schools, one from District 29, one from District 26, that happen to be 2 completely different ethnicity schools, and it works out great. And so I was there the other day. It's a great school. Thank you.